What is up? This is your LA in a minute. And I want to do something a little bit different on this episode because I want to find out the answers to two questions that continue to arise after what is now a full week of unprecedented fire destruction here in Los Angeles. Number one, why did the fire hydrants run dry on some firefighters in the Pacific Palisades? And number two, why was the 117 million gallon Santa Ynez Reservoir empty before and during these fires? Let's get into it. First is the issue of the fire hydrants running dry, specifically in the Palisades. Up to 20% of the hydrants, mostly at higher elevations, ran out because of the surge in demand. Fire hydrant systems throughout the United States are designed to fight one, maybe two house fires simultaneously. Within the first 40 minutes of the Palisades fire, 200 fire engines were trying to use the same system at the same time. These hydrants all pull from a system that relies on three large water tanks, specifically in the Palisades, with about 1 million gallons apiece. In this case, there was 4 times the normal water demand for 15 hours straight. So the hydrants functioned at the lower elevations, but in the hillier areas like the Palisades Highlands, they ran dry. So why? Well, the water pipes can only accommodate a limited flow of water, and in this case, they needed to push that water uphill. So when the water banks run too low, they lose pressure, and hydrants in the uphill areas become non-functional. I want to reiterate that municipal water systems like those in the Palisades are designed to fight local, small-scale fires, not large, long-lasting wildfires like we've been seeing rage for the last week. Now, regarding the Santa Ynez Reservoir, which has been at the center of much discussion, this reservoir has a capacity of 117 million gallons, and it was indeed offline when the fires broke out. So why? It's important to note that the reservoir has been covered since 2012 to comply with the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency water quality regulations. And this is what the reservoir looks like when it is properly covered. And now in February 2024, the reservoir was partially drained for what was initially thought to be routine repair and maintenance. However, when LADWP staff began work on what appeared to be a small tear in the reservoir, you see it at the top of the screen right here, they discovered much more extensive damage, and the reservoir needed to be emptied or risk the contamination of the entire water supply for the Palisades and LA's west side. Now, in order to repair that cover, the DWP was required to comply with city charter contracting requirements, and the contract was awarded and is expected to be completed by May in advance of the higher demand summer season. Okay, so why didn't they fill the reservoir once they saw the fires raging out of control? Well, the fact is the reservoir can only be filled at a rate of 2 feet per day to prevent damage. And furthermore, doing so at any time after the firestorm started would contribute to more reduced pressure within the water system. So the water system was pushed beyond its limits and continued to supply water at unprecedented rates. And yes, some hydrants did run dry, but this was due to the sheer scale of the firefighting effort, not a systemic failure. And the Santa Ynez Reservoir was offline for necessary and important repairs, not due to negligence or oversight. The challenge of fighting these fires is beyond the scope of anything we've seen in Los Angeles, and it's important to realize why things happened with the hydrants and the reservoirs. In the meantime, let's continue to support our firefighters and our communities. All right, LA, it's been a minute.